It is Monday, February 17th, 2025, and Trump's DOGE making a major discovery yesterday after a week of trying to untangle the utter mess inside our Social Security Administration, announcing last night on X what they found. And if you think you've seen fraud, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to show you also border crossings on our southern border have now hit an all-time low. So low, in fact, Border Patrol has almost nothing to do. And Marco Rubio has arrived in Saudi Arabia for peace talks with Russia, and Ukraine not happy about it, doing everything in their power, Zelensky specifically, everything in his power, to stop this war from ending. Wait till you see this. Trump shutting Zelensky down, putting him in his place. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. Elon and DOGE entered the Social Security Administration 7 days ago. They've been trying to audit this behemoth of a program for more than a week now and are realizing two things. The waste and fraud inside Social Security is the largest we've ever seen, and its systems are set up in such an archaic way that it makes it very difficult, tedious to track and blueprint how it all works. Last night, Elon and DOGE taking to X to update the American people on what they've uncovered, highlighting what they believe to be this massive, the largest fraud ever discovered happening within the U.S. Social Security Administration, finding that over 200 million Social Security numbers are being sent benefits, Social Security benefits, yet as of last year, as of 2024, only around 68 million Americans are even eligible, are supposed to be receiving Social Security. So 200 million to 68 million. Of these 200 plus million beneficiaries, active beneficiaries, here's what it looks like when you break them down by age bracket. You won't believe this. What do you notice on this spreadsheet? More than 20 million of them are over the age of 100. More than 15 million are over the age of 110. What? Where is our money going? How has nobody figured this out before? Isn't that the point of having inspector generals and administrators to administer the program effectively, competently? This whole thing is just wild, and it gets worse, way worse. Elon and DOGE, they've spent a week, right, trying to route and build out this blueprint, a logic flow type diagram of how the program works, and they've yet to complete it. Writing the logic flow diagram for the Social Security system looks insane. No one person actually knows how it works. The payment files that move between Social Security and Treasury have significant inconsistencies that are not reconciled. It's wild. As a friend of mine described it, this is like an amazing puzzle uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization that went extinct, except it's still around. Realize this is what Democrats fought incessantly for years to prevent. Not to touch, screaming, jumping up and down whenever a Republican or anyone even mentioned Social Security, they would lose their freaking minds. Well, what do you know? Who controls or who's on the other end of these millions of fake or deceased Social Security numbers? Who is receiving, taking possession of the billions of dollars in Social Security benefits going out the door to these numbers annually? That's what we're trying to figure out. That's what DOGE is still in the process of auditing. Elon writing, yes, there are far, far more eligible Social Security numbers than there are citizens in the USA. This may be the biggest fraud in history. And realize, there shouldn't be 365 million Social Security numbers being sent benefits. I don't receive Social Security benefits. I'm too young. There's only supposed to be around 60 million Americans receiving these benefits, not 395 million. That's the number. There aren't even 395 million American citizens. What this means is if these numbers are right, there is at least at minimum $522 billion, 1/3 of all Social Security spending is fraudulent. This is massive. That would be the largest fraud ever committed against the American people, which doesn't even include, by the way, the potential fraud from fake Social Security beneficiaries of people under the age of 100. Robert Sterling explaining this, saying this doesn't include the potential fraud from fake beneficiaries below the age of 100, people in their 70s, 80s, 90s. By my math and adjusting for a normalized age distribution, this could bring the total amount of fraud to $793 billion per year. We should immediately pause all Social Security benefits to Social Security numbers over the age of 100 at least, right? Realize the largest portion of the U.S. budget goes to the biopharma, medical, and defense industries, and Democrats are now worried, freaking out about what DOGE and the Trump administration are going to find. Watch what happened a few days ago, for instance, at the White House press briefing when this topic was broached, highlighting trillions in fraud. Watch.
Just for a second. Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marjorie Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some in this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us, unfortunately. I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day. And I would just remind everybody in this room, this is what President Trump campaigned on doing. He's delivering on a promise that 77 million people elected him to do.
Look, if Elon and DOGE can fix this, it would be one of the best services they could perform for our country. The Social Security program, it's massive, around $1.5 trillion a year. The program was created back in 1934 by Franklin D. Roosevelt, originally created as a modest safety net, but has since grown, ballooned, with 60,000 plus federal employees. Why does it take 60,000 people to send out Social Security checks? Shouldn't it be automated, at least partially automated? Let me know in the comments what you think. In another story, President Trump has effectively solved the crisis at our southern border. During each day of the last week, the total number of illegal crossings averaged only 286 per day. Compare that to 11,000 illegal border crossings daily when Trump was elected. 11,000 illegal aliens entering the country per day versus 286. And those 286 that are now attempting to sneak into the U.S. are being captured, caught, and returned to Mexico if they have an asylum claim, or they're being immediately deported back to their country of origin. Watch.
I mean, look, President Trump's been clear. We're going to put the worst of the worst at Gitmo. And look, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. No one's off the table. If you're in this country illegally, it's not okay. But President Trump has said from day one, we're going to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. You know, Varney, I looked at the numbers today. In the last 24 hours, a total of 229 people were encountered by the Border Patrol on the southwest border. 229. I haven't seen that. I've been doing this job since 1984 as a Border Patrol agent. I've never seen the numbers that low. 229 compared to 11,000 a day under Biden. We've doubled the number of criminal aliens arrested. We've doubled the number of illegal aliens arrested in the interior. We've doubled the number of gang members trend to Agua and MS-13. President Trump made a promise to American people, and we're keeping that promise. The numbers are extraordinary. We're not there yet. We got more to do. But I look at those numbers this morning, I just shake my head at how much President Trump has accomplished in less than a month.
In another story, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has just arrived in Saudi Arabia to meet with the Russians to discuss ending the Ukraine-Russia war. Peace talks are underway. And guess who's not part of them? Ukraine. Apparently, President Zelensky has been the largest detriment to peace, to ending the war. Last week at the Munich Security Conference, going behind the Americans' backs, trying to cut side deals with different European countries. Zelensky telling reporters yesterday that he's not happy about being left out of the meeting, saying he was invited to Saudi Arabia but wasn't invited to the U.S.-Russia meeting, saying, I will not meet with Russians and I'll also not be meeting with Americans. Watch.
I have official visit to Emirates with my wife, with the First Lady, because we have a big humanitarian program and the question of exchanging of prisoners. The second, I will have visit after this immediately Saudi Arabia with the same questions and other partnership with His Royal Highness. Then I will have meeting with my wife again quickly after that. It will be during 2 days or 3 days. I will have a meeting with President Erdogan in Turkey. I will not meet with Russians, but I will not meet with Americans also there. I mean, this is my official visit to the country because they invited me with my official visit. That's it.
And look, Zelensky, he's quickly losing all favor with Donald Trump, going behind his back in Munich yesterday, trying to cut deals without the U.S. involved or even aware. That was a huge mistake, a major error on his part. Trump telling reporters he thinks Zelensky is full of crap when he continues to fearmonger about Russia launching this full-scale invasion of NATO countries. Trump saying he doesn't agree with Zelensky. Not even a little. Watch.
Today that Russia is going to wage war on NATO. Do you agree with that? Do you have any concerns?
No, I don't agree. I don't agree. Not even a little bit.
This guy is desperate, trying anything he can to keep the war from ending. This is the second thing he did to try to halt peace talks. First was that possible false flag, the bombing of the Chernobyl nuclear shield last week. Then at the Munich Security Conference, talking about intel he allegedly received that shows 150,000 Russian troops preparing an invasion into Europe. Trump shutting him down. If he was smart, he would get on board, ride the Trump train before it's too late. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.